Hello, Royals. Welcome back to another phenomenal episode of Art, aka A Real Testimony. As you know, it's your Regal host, Tanisha Blunt, and I'm so blessed and happy to be here with you all today. Thank you so much for tuning in. So, we're here with The Art of Choosing Yourself, Part 2, as promised. So, before we get into our episode today, I would love to kick it off with some T tags of motivation. So let's dive in. Okay. So the first T tag is from Yogi T, and it says, "Trust is the question, love is the solution." I totally agree. Definitely need more love in our communities and our society. The second one is also from Yogi T, and it reads, "The principal ingredient of life is love." Okay, I'm seeing the theme here. These tea bags are wrapped individually, so I don't ever know what the tea tags are going to say. So it's very interesting that the three tea tags are talking about love, and that theme is consistent. So the final tea tag is from Traditional Medicinals, and it reads, "The plants have enough spirit to transform our limited vision." Signed, Rosemary Blackstar. I love it. The fact that limited vision is in this tea tag is very inspirational, and it's almost magical because that's what we're talking about today. That's what we're talking about in the episode today. So it's definitely right on time. So, Royals, without further ado, we're diving into The Art of Choosing Yourself, Part 2. Let's get started.
He's an eight, there's an art. Grab the tea, cause this is art. A real testimony.
Hi, Royals. Welcome. So I don't want to waste any time. If you have not seen The Art of Choosing Yourself Part 1, please go check it out, as it is a prerequisite for this episode. And I strongly suggest you checking it out so you can kind of be in the flow of what the topics, are leading toward. So I'm going to go ahead and dive in. I'm not even going to play with you today. Hey, royal people, ladies and gentlemen. So jumping in today's episode, I just want to go ahead and kick it off with the question. The question for this episode, the basis of this episode, is this question right here. Why is self-preservation and self-respect important in today's age? So I'll give you some time to ponder this. I would really like for you all to respond in the comments and let me know what you're thinking, so we can have our own conversation going and get some dialogue flowing, because this is it's a loaded question. While you do that, I'll have my tea time. Get me some tea. Okay, that should be enough time. So let's break this down. Let's break down this question, right? It says, why is self-preservation and self-respect important in today's age? First of all, what is self-preservation? What is self-respect? I'll let you know right now. Self-preservation is defined as the protection of oneself from harm or death, especially regarded as a basic instinct in human beings and animals. Okay. That's kind of loaded, right? Moving on, self-respect is defined as pride and confidence in oneself, a feeling that one is behaving with honor and dignity. Wow. Who would have known? That was the definition. So I'll pose it to you again, Royals. Why is self-preservation and self-respect important to you? What does it mean to you now that you have the definition of those words? What and how does that relate to your perspective? How do you view that? Drop your answers in the comments below. I want to hear from you. So I'm looking forward to hearing what you all have to say. However, I've definitely had some time to ponder this concept and this idea because I've been looking from multiple lenses. From my own experience, I've been looking through other people's experience, living through other people vicariously and seeing how they responded to certain elements in society or within their own experience in general, in the lens of self-preservation and self-respect. It's very hard to identify self-respect in today's time from my perspective, because when you look at the media, for example, or if you look at popular shows, it's a lot of fighting, it's a lot of degrading each other. Like it's a lot of that. Like you don't really see popular shows that advocate for peaceful unions or high level conversations. I don't really see it too often. Yeah, I don't really see it too often. You have your classic shows and you have your classic movies and things like that, but when you get on the internet or if you see shows like Bad Girls Club or something like, or reality TV, just being more general, it's a lot of chaotic plots going on and chaotic interactions between people, and it's like, dang, is that where we are? Are we really here right now? Okay, so I want to move on into my reasoning and my reasons for what I'm saying. So number one, I feel it's always been important. Self-preservation and self-respect has always been important. It has, and it will always be important. Let's just go ahead and establish my argument there, okay? I feel that humans are mirrors of learned behavior. We are, though. We really are. We are mirrors and reflections of learned behavior via mal-teachings from family, friends, media, TV, societal trends, and or many other external stimuli that cultivates and develop limited perspectives and traumatic patterns. And it's so funny. That's why I said that T-tag was really interesting, because it spoke on limited, vision, a limited perspective. And I'm like, okay, everything's kind of just tying together. You really have to identify your limited perspectives to even see where you are in the spectrum of self-preservation and self-respect, right? So, let me know how you all feel about my points that I'm making here. I would love to hear from you, like I said, in the comments. So feel free to, get this conversation started with me. I would love to have this conversation. So point number 2 is self-preservation and self-respect are great tools to discern low-quality experiences. These character traits are preventive instead of reactionary. Now, I love being preventive. And I've had my moments of being reactionary. And in those moments, I realize it's more important to be preventive rather than reactionary, because it can be harmful. Like if you're not preserving yourself and preserving yourself, your lifestyle, your mind, your body, your spirit, and also maintaining your self-respect, life becomes tough on a whole nother spectrum. Your interactions with people may feel of low quality, and it's not satisfying, and you begin to wonder why am I getting this outcome, or why are people responding to me like that? And the reality is your power is within your self-preservation and your level of respect that you have for yourself. So I think it's really important to have these character traits when you're deciding to choose yourself, because it's a foundation in which you'll stand on as you progress through your journey of self-mastery and of choosing yourself. Yeah, I mean, this is a journey. You're not going to get it in one night. Just watching this series is not going to be enough. You're going to have to do that work and identify, well, how do I preserve myself? How do I set boundaries that protect me, but also still allow me to show up in my fullness? How do I show up for people in a way that I'm not disrespecting myself? Like, it's a balancing act, and it's necessary to practice so you can properly balance, right? So moving on to my final point, it says here, one must have a stable relationship within via boundaries, healthy habits, and concise communication and or affirmations. So that to me means a lot. Boundaries can be very difficult to set if you haven't had practice, or if you haven't seen people who were responsible for your development implement them. And for me, I just feel it's very important when you're choosing yourself to have strong boundaries. And people will challenge you. People will question, why do you feel the need to have such strong boundaries? And honestly and candidly, it's not for them to understand. It's really for you to preserve yourself. Like, they're not going to understand why you're placing these things, these boundaries, and these healthy habits in place, because maybe they're not protecting themselves or choosing themselves in the most healthy way, and they'll question, like, what? Why are you doing that? And it's like, you're not with the program. You don't know what's going on. You don't see that this is necessary and it's important for me to do this. And you have to question why. You have to question the people who are questioning you about properly protecting yourself and having respect for yourself. Like, why are you upset that I'm respecting my being? Why are you upset about that? Because then it will reveal that maybe they have some unresolved trauma experiences or unresolved limited beliefs that they're still holding on to, and they're judging you for not being limited. And it's like, baby, like, what? How are you gonna judge me for not being in the same place that you are in? It's not fair, and I don't think it was ever designed to be fair. However, you have the upper hand when you choose yourself. You have the upper hand when you implement healthy habits in your lifestyle, when you communicate with yourself positively, the things that you say to yourself, how you affirm yourself in the mirror. You change the game when you speak to yourself with respect and you say, hey, I declare victory over my day. I declare victory over my circumstances. I declare victory over my self-mastery journey. A lot of people aren't doing that. It's hard. They don't know where to start. And the reality is, you do, and you can. My final points on this is choose yourself wisely. There's so many ways, there's so many vices in this world that will drown you and make you unrecognizable to yourself. Like, you'll take on these vices that you think are healing you or numbing you. It's really numbing you and helping you suppress. You're not dealing with anything. But you'll look at yourself one day and you'll just be like, who am I? How did I even get here? And it goes back to my earlier point. We want to be preventive, not reactionary. And sometimes we will be reactionary, and that's okay. That's all right. As long as you're accountable and responsible enough to say, hey, I got to take care of this, and I'm willing to take care of this, and I have the resources and the tools and the right mindset to get it done. Yeah. So I just think and feel and know in my being that The game changes completely when one chooses themselves in the most healthy way. And there's nothing wrong with that, and don't let anyone shame you into choosing another path that's destructive or detrimental to your growth. You deserve to evolve, and beautiful royal, you will. Because guess what? You set your mind to it and you made a choice to do it. So in closing, I read Proverbs 25 today, and yes, it's still today. I'm just checking the time. I'm filming like really late. However, the scripture says, whoever has no rule over his own spirit is like a city broken down with no walls. When I tell you, that really hit home for me, because it just goes hand in hand with what we're talking about today. And it's so powerful. Like, I don't really need to break this down, but I will. In other words, no boundaries puts you in position to be more susceptible to unwanted attacks. No boundaries equals no protection. Easy to infiltrate. And is that the type of lifestyle or being you want to have, or mentality? No. At least, I'll answer it for you. No, you don't. No, it's not healthy. It's not healthy. And I want what's healthy for you. I want what's best for you. And God does too. He says it here. He said, whoever has no rule over his spirit, his own spirit, is like a city broken down with no walls, no protection. Do you know what's in a city? You have valuables in a city. You have so many different elements that makes a city prosperous and in flow and in order. And if anyone can just come in who's not vetted or authorized to be in your space, in your city, there's no telling what they'll do. There's no telling what can happen in your city, in your being, in your mind, in your heart, in your life. So I urge you, royals, to choose yourself in the most healthy way. You will not regret it, my friend. You are worth it. You are worth the investment, right? I also want you to know, if you don't know. Actually, let's rewind a little bit. So, royals, recognize peace as active protection from God. Now, for me, these days, I've been recognizing peace as active protection from God. And when I tell you, I get so much comfort in that. I get so much comfort in that. Like, you hear that? Yeah, that's peace. Yeah, that's peace. That's peace. And like I said, it's active protection from God. Like, you call it boredom. Girl, that's peace. That's peace. And you must use your time wisely by choosing what God wants and has for you. So remember, royals, choosing yourself requires you to know you have great value and worth. If you don't know your worth or value, you'll unfortunately be prone to accept low quality people and experiences. So please choose wisely, royals. I know you will. I believe you will. So keep swinging, baby. Like, this is a journey for us royals who are dwelling in the land of the living. And you know, we have to keep swinging. We have to keep moving forward as we travel through time. So please take these tools with you and know that self-preservation and self-respect is sexy. Like, baby, like that's what we're aiming for. We're aiming to have, you know, a wholesome attractiveness, a wholesome attraction. And that's what you are. That's what we are. That's what we represent. Baby, it's a new day. So yes, royals, please choose wisely. And royals, that does it for today's episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. And please stay tuned for part 3. Yes, that's right. There's a part 3 coming your way, and you don't want to miss it. Again, thank you. Stay royal. And until next time, see you then.
Here's an A, there's an R. Grab the T, 'cause this is art. A real testimony.